Helios WebShare makes remote access to server files easy and secure. WebShare runs on your company's server, and users can use any web browser to remotely access, manage, and synchronize files, view images and documents, and much more. WebShare is highly secure with excellent access controls. The user interface can easily be customized for individual users and groups. Watch all the Quick Start guides to learn more about using WebShare.
In this Quick Start guide, we show system administrators how to configure WebShare settings. When WebShare is first installed, it starts automatically and can be used at once. The login URL is simply the WebShare server hostname or IP address, followed by :2009, which specifies the default port. Most of the administration of WebShare can be performed within WebShare itself. In addition, the Helios admin application is used for some user settings. And all settings can also be configured via the command line, which is used primarily for automation scripts, for example, to register new users and SharePoints, deal with lost passwords, etc. Log into WebShare as an administrative user. The Helios admin application can be used to assign administrator rights to specific users. Refer to the WebShare manual for details. Once logged in, click on the Administration button and then on Server Preferences. Here you can set which types of users are permitted to log in to WebShare. There are two types of users: host users and virtual users. Let's look at host users first. Host users comprise those users who are directly authenticated by the server running WebShare, as well as those users who are listed and authenticated by directory services such as NIS, LDAP, and Active Directory. Helios admin is used to specify which of these directory services to use. By default, host users are enabled. Virtual users can be enabled to allow other users to log into WebShare, where for security or convenience, it is not desired to add them as host users. Virtual users are mapped to a host user and are limited to the access rights of that host user. So, many anonymous or occasional users could be created as virtual users and mapped to a single host user. By default, virtual users are enabled. So let's set up some users. Click on the Administration button and then on User Administration. To add a virtual user, fill in the username and password, and then specify a host user to run as. The rights and permissions of that host user will be inherited by the virtual user. The other settings are optional. Click Save Changes. This procedure can be followed to add additional virtual users. If host users are enabled, then there is no need to add them here. However, if you want a host user to have a WebShare login password that is different than their system password, then you can add them here. Now let's define some SharePoints. Once again, click the Administration button and then SharePoint Administration. A SharePoint is simply a directory and its subdirectories on the WebShare file server that is made available to remote users via WebShare. Fill in a descriptive name for the SharePoint and then the path. Normally, a full, absolute path should be entered. Email on access provides a very useful notification of when someone accesses that SharePoint. The remaining entries allow fine control over who can access that SharePoint and what actions they are permitted. Here you can see that for the same directory, members of the staff group have all WebShare capabilities enabled, while members of the guest group are limited to only previewing files. Keep in mind that in addition to these controls, WebShare also enforces the file system permissions for each file. Here's an example. Using WebShare, or Helios Admin, or the terminal, a list of active users can be viewed. Note how each user session runs as a separate process, running with that user's permissions. Here you can see that when user Chris creates a folder, Chris is the owner. When user Orion creates a folder, Orion is the owner. View the Quick Start Guide to WebShare File Management for more details. Back on the administration page, click Branding Editor. This graphical editor allows easily defining customized interfaces for different users or groups. The WebShare interface can reflect your corporate identity or that of your users. Watch the Branding Editor video for a step-by-step guide. Let's configure the remaining server preferences. A larger cache size will reduce the need to regenerate previews, saving time for users. Specify a cache size and directory where there will be enough room. Email notifications of user and admin logins are useful for sales, support, and security purposes. The Enable Register User option and the Enable Forgot Password option add links to the login page. Corresponding web forms and automation scripts are also included. But you need to customize the scripts to perform the requested operation according to your requirements. Each WebShare button activates a script on the server that performs the requested action. Each corresponding script can be customized to tailor the features, control, automation, etc. to your needs. You can also add scripts to the Actions menu. This allows adding extensive processing or automation options for your users. Action menu items can be limited to specific users by setting appropriate file permissions on each action script. See the WebShare manual for details. If the checkbox Allow URL Share Access is checked, direct access to a specified WebShare SharePoint or to a document preview is possible. This can facilitate user access or access by other applications. In case you want to change the WebShare WebObjects server port number, for example to HTTP port 80, refer to the WebShare Manual Preferences section. Click Accounting to view the log files, which provide a detailed audit trail of user access and actions. They can be used for security or billing purposes. On the Java Server Statistics page, you can view performance details and user statistics, such as active and peak users. The final bit of administration is for users themselves. Each user can click My User Preferences to change their password and set other user preferences. This covers all the basic settings. Further extensive customization and automation can be incorporated by editing the WebShare custom scripts as documented in the WebShare manual. That's how you do it. See the other WebShare Quick Start guides to learn more about file transfers, remote collaboration, administration, and more. You can even demo WebShare at the Helios website or download a test drive to try out for 30 days on your own server.